Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish series stars. I hope you're all feeling amazing today, because we're diving into a subject that has kept countless fans whispering, speculating, and replaying interviews on loop. We're going to talk about a supposed secret romance, or at least a bond that felt undeniably special, between two of the most talked about figures in Turkish entertainment, Alina and Alp Navruz. Our theme today, Alina and Alp, secret love away from the tabloids, already points us in the right direction, doesn't it? We're going to try to step past the glittery headlines and go deeper into what might truly sit at the heart of their connection, or at least how the public came to believe in it. If you adore these two or simply live for a good celebrity mystery, stay right here, because things are about to get very interesting. Before we jump in, a quick reminder, if you haven't already, hit subscribe and ring the bell for Turkish series stars. Your support lets us keep bringing you the stories you love, and trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. So, let's talk about Alina and Alp Navruz, two names that sent shockwaves through the industry when they appeared side by side in high-profile projects and public appearances that left fans breathless. The camera adored them. Whether it was that buzzy seasonal promo film that looked like a mini-drama of its own, a brand campaign with cinematic flair, or their magnetic presence at prestigious events, their on-camera dynamic was impossible to ignore. The spark was there, the kind of energy that makes viewers wonder if life has decided to imitate art just a bit too closely. And that's what we're unpacking today. Was their connection simply the kind that great professionals can craft at will, or was there something more, something that they worked hard to protect from endless flashes and intrusive lenses? Was the magic between Alina and Alp just perfectly timed artistry, or did it blur the line between role and reality? Let's not forget how quickly this pairing became a phenomenon. Even without a traditional long-running series together, the footage they did share, stylized scenes, behind-the-scenes clips, and carefully curated moments, went viral across platforms. Their names surged beyond Turkey, making them a duo that international fans couldn't stop watching. And with that level of attention came exactly what you'd expect: speculation, curiosity, and a flood of unconfirmed stories. Rumors about a romance began to swirl early. The moment fans noticed how effortlessly they read each other's energy, how their eye contact felt unforced, how their laughter seemed private even in crowded rooms, the questions started. Was it all performance, or did those seconds between takes hold something sacred? What made their case fascinating was how they handled the noise. Instead of constantly confirming or rejecting every rumor tossed their way, they opted for restraint. When they shared moments on social media, it was usually tied to a campaign, a shoot, a celebration, or an event where their joint appearance was already expected. The carefully lit photos, the official clips, those didn't reveal much. But the candid glimpses, those half-caught shots that looked too comfortable, too quiet, that's what made the speculation explode. Tabloids were relentless. Entertainment outlets chased every breadcrumb, magnifying each detail. A shared look at a gala, a playful reply in a comment section, a song lyric quoted at exactly the wrong, or right, time. Suddenly, every breath was evidence. It felt like there wasn't a day without a fresh claim, that they'd slipped away to a secluded restaurant, that they were seen in a neighborhood known for privacy, that they'd spent a stolen hour at a place where cameras don't usually reach. And when the press couldn't pry open a definitive yes or no, they stitched stories out of the tiniest gestures. Let's be honest, their interviews didn't help the rumors fade, they made them shimmer. When asked about their relationship, both Alina and Alp answered with grace, but they didn't hand over the truth. They emphasized friendship, admiration, respect. They spoke about how seamlessly they understood each other's rhythm on set and how easy it was to keep a scene alive when the other person was that good. For some fans, that politeness sounded like a yes spoken softly. For others, it was the most elegant of no's. There's a reason public figures choose the quiet approach, especially in the early days of something fragile. Names like theirs can eclipse any private happiness. The fear that a personal story will swallow a career, or that a new connection will crumble under the heat of 1,000 headlines, isn't imaginary. What does it mean to nurture a secret love far from tabloids? It means that if there was something deeper than affection in the frame, it was guarded. It means that they didn't chase covers. They didn't stage moments for clicks. They insisted on keeping whatever mattered most to them behind a curtain only they controlled. Certain moments added fuel to the fire. They were spotted side by side where there was no agenda, no camera direction, no promotional angle to explain it away. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough. Even without a grand declaration, there were looks and gestures, split-second exchanges in crowded rooms, that felt like messages shared in a language the rest of us weren't invited to speak. And then there was how they showed up for each other's work. The support, visible, consistent, and quietly timed, made fans feel they were watching a story write itself between red carpets. But what happens when an unconfirmed relationship is dissected every day? The pressure becomes a storm. Imagine knowing that each text you send, each coffee you drink, each glance you share could be mistaken for a confession or an ending. In that atmosphere, Alina and Alp seemed to choose the middle path. In public, they were gracious, professional, and kind. In private, if there was a private, they let it remain unphotographed. There's another layer to all of this. When two people connect so strongly in their work, the audience naturally wants to carry that bond into real life. We don't just fall in love with the images, we fall in love with the possibility that the feelings we sensed were real the entire time. Alina and Alp understood that longing. They knew how to honor it without surrendering their boundaries. Is the decision to stay discreet a strategy? Absolutely. It shields a bond while multiplying its mystique. Silence can be a refuge, and it can also be an amplifier. When there's no official version to hold, the imagination surges in to draft its own. And with Alina and Alp, the collective imagination soared. Was it all for marketing? Some said yes. But the pull between them, the way their respect never wavered, the way their energy felt balanced and attentive, it didn't scan as a gimmick. It felt like two people taking their time with something the world demanded they hurry. Here's what we can say without guessing: they created a connection that left a mark. Their professionalism, their presence, the way they filled a frame together, it became a reference point for fans everywhere. Whether that bond crossed the line into private romance, they kept the truth theirs. The public, in turn, kept the fascination alive. Even after their joint projects slowed and the wave crested, interest in them didn't collapse, it simply evolved. People started looking for signs not in big gestures, but in the little things. A congratulatory message posted quietly and right on time. A mention in an interview that seemed to glow a little warmer than usual. A story told with fondness and a careful choice of words. The pair of them moved forward professionally, choosing challenging roles, exploring new paths. But that thread between them, woven across appearances and moments, never fully disappeared from the conversation. We've seen Alina soaring in her own lane, selecting characters that draw from her depth and still surprise her audience. We've watched Alp carve out roles that highlight his intensity and sensitivity, often at the same time. And every so often, a journalist will ask one of them about the other, and for a brief second, it feels like all the speculation is about to end, until it doesn't. What we're left with is a portrait that suggests a strong bond, admiration, trust, and ease that isn't performative. If there was anything more, they chose to protect it, as is their right. So the idea of Alina and Alp, secret love away from the tabloids, invites us to rethink how we consume celebrity stories. Maybe the truth is less about labels and more about the limits we accept. Maybe the most real part was always the part we weren't allowed to see. What's undeniable is that their connection, professional, personal, or both, resonated. It moved people. It made fans care not just about one project or one night, but about a story that might have existed in the quiet. And that brings us to today's close. We've traced the whispers, weighed the signs, and considered the possibility that the most important moments happened where cameras were not welcome. Thank you for spending this time with us and for supporting Turkish series stars. Your voices, your theories, your passion, those are what keep this community alive. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe there was a secret love between Alina Boz and Alp Navruz? Do you think their silence was strength, strategy, or both? How do you feel about the way they navigated the constant attention? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your insights are always a joy to read. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video, send it to fellow fans of Alina and Alp, and spread it among lovers of Turkish series who appreciate a great story well told. If you're new here, subscribe to Turkish Series Stars and turn on notifications so you're first in line for our next chapter. Until then, take care, stay curious, and keep your hearts open for the stories between the lines.